We will move on to the South Coast, where Southampton were up against Wolves. Southampton started the day bottom of the Premier League table. Wolves have pulled away from it in recent weeks. And here are your commentators, Dave Edwards and Paul Gilmore.
You had a fantastic victory with 10 players. How do you sum that up?
Yes, the first is the gratitude for the players because they have made a big effort. They believe in the bad moments without one player less in a lot of minutes, I don't know, 70 minutes, and losing the match. So in the end, they show that when they play together, when they work together, they have a big heart, big good spirit. And then you can lose, of course, because it's football, but they show that when they believe and they work together, all together, they are able to overcome all the difficulties that we have had today.
Look, I'm really disappointed. I'm frustrated. You know, we were in control of the game, had no problems. We were excellent first half, really front-footed, created chances, territory, balls in the box. We looked a proper team first half, and for me, the 10 men was to our detriment because I think it made it a free hit for them then in terms of stuff, and actually added more pressure on us. And it shouldn't be like that. You know, we should then control a game with 10 men. But once we then had the second chance, didn't take it, it seemed to have galvanised them. We had a lot of territory, a lot of balls in and around their box without really showing the quality that we needed to really win a Premier League game. And then they got a bit fortunate with the first goal and then showed one bit of quality and they've won the game.
Well, we can't take away from the fact it was a huge win for Wolves, who were down to 10 men. But, of course, all of the headlines and all of the narrative is going to be around that man there, Nathan Jones. Do you think he'll still be the manager come the next time we see them play?
I think when you see supporters and fans expressing their anger so publicly at games before the ball was kicked, a manager doesn't last very long. And you look at their performances of late, they just haven't been good enough. I thought maybe they'd turned the corner after the Man City result in the Cup. They beat Everton, and obviously that was the first kind of battle at the bottom. But since then, their form has been poor. And again today, Wolves with 10 men, they take the lead as well, Southampton. And to get beat as they did today, it doesn't look good for him. And you're right, the fans really turned on him at the end of the match. You could hear their frustration being vented at him.
You could, and he came out after and said that he was under the most pressure he's ever been before the game. So I wonder what he'd be feeling after it now. And you could see in that interview, he's obviously... I think he's lost a little bit of control. He seems a bit frantic as well, and maybe sometimes that reflects in your performances as players, but it's not right. And as Darren said, and you said, when the fans start being a little bit more vocal, I think then you start to worry about him. Do you think another manager could bring that group of players out of the relegation zone? Do they have enough to work with?
You know, I'm wondering if they're thinking about the Ralph situation, because I think Ralph Hasenhüttl did a great job there. I know he was on the end of a couple of big results, but he kept that team in the division, he kept them competitive, and they looked in a better place with Ralph than they do now. So I think one or two people at the club will be questioning that decision. But yeah, for sure, they need a spark from somewhere. And clearly at the minute, that's not Nathan Jones. And I like Nathan Jones. I like the way that he speaks. But I think in some of the interviews that he's done, he looks rattled. And I think, as Karen said just now, that's starting to filter through to the players.
I think as well, the fans might be looking at other clubs like Aston Villa getting Emre. You look at Lopetegui coming in and you go in,
Dyche at Everton.
Dyche, that's where they went. And they'll be thinking, oh, we need that because we want to do what they're doing. And I think that doesn't add, that adds fuel to the fire as well.
Well, that wraps up your Saturday in the Premier League, but most significantly, this is what it means for the Premier League table. Arsenal missed out on a chance to go 8 points clear at the top. Manchester City do have the chance to close the gap on them tomorrow when they face Villa. Manchester United as well in action tomorrow against Leeds. Newcastle United completing the top four will be delighted that Tottenham dropped points, and so did Brighton, so they still maintain that healthy gap. Fulham were the only team in the top half of the table to win their game today. As for the bottom half, well, you can see it's extremely tight at the bottom, with those bottom 5 teams only separated by 5 points. It's Southampton that are under increasing amounts of pressure. They prop up the table, with Bournemouth and Everton completing that relegation picture as things stand. On that note, it's time for us to say goodbye. A big thank you to Karen, a big thank you to Darren, and it rhymed. Brilliant. 18 goals scored on another action-packed and eventful day in the Premier League, and we will see you tomorrow as we go again for more of the same. See you soon.